welcome to Akilon Wastes, presented by SK Planet. Spawning up in the top left-hand position as the yellow Terran from CJ Ensis, their last hope. His name is skyHigh.
His opponent, the current GSL winner, playing for Samsung Khan. His name is rOrO, spawning as a blue Zerg on the bottom right position.
Is that the 200 win pin I see for rOrO?
I think that's actually I think that's actually a MVP.
Oh, okay.
And they gave it to the wrong person, or something, or maybe there was 2 medals and then Stark hit it because he doesn't want to, get any medals on his new shirt. Because I noticed that he doesn't have the OSL badge, he doesn't have the carrier badge on the new jacket.
Interesting. Well, I think you should put those back on. Those badges are essentially they're symbols and testaments to how hard you've worked in the pro gaming, in the span of your pro gaming career, and how much it's paid off for you. So I would show my bling off all the time if I had a badge like that. That's all I have to say.
5 GSL blings on your shirt every single day?
Yeah, man. I totally would do that, or at least anywhere I went StarCraft related. Now we have a barracks opening from skyHigh here, so he's not going to go for a command center first opening. Generally, the players like Innovation, Ty, Flash, they're players that love to go for these kind of greedy plays from the start of the game, but a little bit less common for a lot of the other Pro League Terrans.
Yeah, they just feel so unsafe against what their opponent might do. Like Flash got cheesed.
It's rOrO being very smart. He scouted with one of his drones, and then he went for the hatchery first build, knowing that everything was safe for him. Not seeing any crazy 8 Reaper builds from Terran, although we haven't really seen any of those in Pro League.
No, not really.
So I guess just these players, they're micro too good and not worth it for the Terran. So we also have that spawning pool and gas going down for rOrO here, and we're going to see a command center go from skyHigh now as well. So both players just going to move into a pretty standard macro game. skyHigh also doing a little bit of scouting of his own.
Gonna scout the gas and the spawning pool, so not that much information except the fact that his opponent went for the 15 hatch, and we're just gonna have to wait a few minutes to see what these players prepare. They might go for 2 base timing pushes, try to drag it into the mid game, because Akilon Wastes is such a huge map. You could take up to 4 bases easily and just play the game out from there. So or you never know, the Zerg player might try to go for a 2 base bust. So, because we've seen that happen once with Soki against skyHigh, I think, actually,
yeah, the last
on
game he played.
Vestige with the Roaches, because he didn't want to get into the mid to late game where the Medivacs and the Marines are so annoying to deal with. So Soki just got rid of the Terran player in the beginning of the game and then started toying around.
I do agree with you. I think he was toying around a lot with skyHigh towards the end of that game. There were so many opportunities for him to just straight up win, and Sulky was like, you know what, I'm just going to make sure I win. I'm not going to take any unnecessary risks here, and even if that does make me look like I'm embarrassing my opponent slightly, I'm going to go for it anyway.
Well, I'm going to enjoy the game and make it look like I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win without, with a 100% guarantee that I know I'm going to win the game in the end, so works out anyways.
Zergling speed on the way for rOrO here, also grabbing a queen behind this. Factory attack going up for skyHigh, getting that reactor as well. And everything looking very standard from both sides here. We have some Zerglings moving in here, trying to at least scare skyHigh, but those 4 Marines, they can easily cut those 5 Zerglings, and it wouldn't really be too worth it for rOrO. Maybe if he had speed, he'd go right.
Yeah, but those Zerglings are pretty much saying, hey, build a bunker right here. If you don't, then I could actually bust up right away.
So we have another factory, interestingly enough, from skyHigh here. So do you think will we actually see mech? That's the real question here.
Now, hold your horses. We only have up to 2 factories.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a little bit excited, and I was like, well, he's making more than 1, so who knows what we could see here.
Yeah, because, up to 2 factories doesn't really tell much. Now, it really depends on what he decides to do with the tech lab. Is he going to switch it with the factory, or is he going to go for the sim? That's going to be the biggest indication of what he's going for. Yes, it's most likely that it's going to be mech at this point, but we, just not too sure yet.
He could be going for some fast Blue Flame Hellions. It's certainly an option here. Zerglings move in here, going to get a few kills off there. And are they going to try the kill off the Hellions here? Nope. The Zerglings are going to run away there, but they did get 1 SCV kill, so better that than nothing, I guess.
And you are correct, the fast Blue Flame Hellions. We've seen some plays like this, but we've also seen some plays where they go for the fast Blue Flame Hellions and then transition right into bio, so We'll see what skyHigh prepares after the Blue Flame Hellions, but these Blue Flame Hellions, they need to do some damage around the map.
Indeed, they do. 3 Hellions being produced at once. We also have a Tech Lab on the barracks finishing up, so I have a feeling this is going to be Blue Flame into that standard bile, but look at this. Roach Warren going down for rOrO here, so I think he may be able to have the proper units out just in time against this Hellion-based play, which is going to be amazing for rOrO because against Massling, they get absolutely destroyed by Blue Flame. It's like not even close. But when you have roaches just tear apart the Hellions so fast.
You know, I'm asking myself, did he actually see the Blue Flame? Did he actually see the second factory with the scout? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
So I think that was
a feeling.
I think that was just a feeling from the fact that he didn't have that many Marines, and because of the bunker positioning.
Yeah, so look at this, though. We have 7, 8 roaches on the way. Layer Tech as well. rOrO is temporarily halting drone production here. Lots of roaches on the way.
Yeah, so it was either that seems like rOrO had amazing game sense, or his game plan initially was to use the roaches. Now, here comes the Hellions, but the roaches are already there in time.
Oh, the Hellions. Their plan is pretty much instantly foiled here. skyHigh going for a third command center very fast on the low ground there, but the roaches, they're just going to be able to walk right over to his opponent's base here, and we do have roach speed being researched instantly as well. I think this is a bit of a response to seeing those the amount of Hellions there, and okay, well, he did see that factory with the Tech Lab add-on, so he absolutely knows what's going on now.
Just wanted to double check before if rOrO actually just guessed it or if he saw it and then responded. Well, the Queen is not going to survive anytime today, but the Hellions are getting trapped by the roaches.
Roaches doing a lot of damage, taking out a lot of those crucial Hellions here, essentially for free. And the Queens, are they going to be able to block inside? Holy crap, what that was an intensely clutch move there from rOrO. Basically, his Queens were just a little bit too slow out of the way, but for some reason, there was a drone that was just there, and he was able to block off that entrance there, preventing any type of potential Hellion run-bys from happening.
You know, if he actually checks the 9 o'clock position, I think he could go for really huge timing with the Zerglings, the Roaches, and possibly the Banelings. Now, he is getting a Baneling, and he could just delay his third base a little bit longer, like getting all the drones over there, and then he could try to go for a push, but it really depends if rOrO knows if skyHigh has up to 3 bases or not.
And we do have an additional factory going down here, so it does look like skyHigh is just going to focus mainly on mech here. We do have a Baneling nest, interestingly enough, on the way here from our Zerg player, so he's going to, looks like he wants to use that to try to deal with some of the mech army here, but I would love to see him, rOrO, go for a fast hive and swarm host, because that is essentially, one of the best ways you can deal with mech in Heart of the Swarm.
Swarm host plus Vipers.
Exactly, man. That combo is just fantastic against mech.
So now the roaches are running around the map trying to deny the Hellions. skyHigh trying to find some breathing room with the rOrO's not giving him any, and the problem is he went for the massive amount of Hellions. He killed 1 Queen. That was it.
Yeah, you got a Queen, guys. I mean, totally worth it.
For like, what?
Hold that thought, though. We have some Hellions moving into this expansion area. The drones, they are very clumped up here. Roaches are coming to reinforce. They will be able to kill off these Hellions eventually, but not before rOrO takes a few more losses on these drones. But overall, he did lose some. He lost a good amount of drones, but at this point in the game, losing that many drones is not the biggest deal in the world. And look at this. We have the Swarm Host research going down, so Swarm Hosts are on the way. They're going to be the Locust upgrade so they can last longer. It's being researched as well, and that's going to be a very, very useful thing against this mech-based army.
The door is coming out, so it seems like he's trying to get those against the Mutas and the Air Army. And we did have 2 Widow Mines, and yes, we do have 2 Widow Mines being made at the same time. skyHigh going for the 4th base, but the problem is the Swarm Hosts are already out on the way. 6 Swarm Hosts, like you said, and if skyHigh doesn't have enough armies, then Locusts, they're going to slowly eat away on the Terran army. The biggest problem with the Swarm Hosts is not the Locusts, but the problem is, when you fight the Locust, you need to ignore them and go for the Swarm Host itself. If you fight the Locust, eventually the Locust will overswarm you, and it's a slow death for any player out there who can't deal with Swarm Host.
Yeah, it looks like skyHigh is really expecting some type of air harassment here from rOrO. Now, rOrO is getting the Spire along with the Hive Tech. We have the Roaches trying to, the Hellions trying to move in here, but the Roaches are going to deny them from doing any type of damage. Alligator Clips on the way as well for a Terran player to allow his Widow Mines to burrow much faster. And we also have Overlord speed upgrade being researched. So everything for both players is essentially being researched at this point.
So we only have 6 swarmers right now. They're pretty much on cover, so if those get out of position and if skyHigh takes it out, that's going to be a little victory for him. Now he's going to see the Locust, and he knows the swarm hosts are out on the map.
Yep, so the Locusts have been revealed here. Also, skyHigh going for the double starport, which is very interesting. He is making Vikings. I guess he's really expecting some type of airplay here, or maybe he just wants to heavily deny those Vipers.
Well, yeah, heavily deny the Vipers and then go into Ravens for himself. I think that's going to be his game plan. But the problem is he needs to get to that stage. Locust out here, and the Widow Mines are getting free shots on the Locust, but eventually the Locust will start overpowering. Now, he does have the turrets around, which means that he's going to try to deny the Overseer as much as possible and get the free shots on the Zerg units. And look at this, rOrO slowly repositioning his swarm hosts.
So we also have a Greater Spire on the way from rOrO. He is focusing a lot on grids, 9 Corruptors in production as well. Unfortunately for rOrO, skyHigh is pretty far ahead of him in getting anti-air. He's already making Vikings 2 at a time and really continuing on that. He also has 2-2 well on the way, so that's going to help out the defense of the Vikings just a little bit here. And it looks like skyHigh wants to move out a little bit here and try to prevent these swarm hosts from doing too much damage.
Yeah, he's just trying to set up a nice wall so that the Locust can't do that much damage, and the Zerg player does not get too much map control right in front of his face. He does, I mean, since he went for mech, he doesn't have the mobility, so he's gonna allow Zerg players to get the creeps around the bases so easily, and even take 2 bases at once, just like what's happening right now at the 1 o'clock and the 7 o'clock position. But he at least needs some ground area from his natural to the 4th base. You know, he needs 2 paths, one outside of his main and one at the natural.
Alright, looks like we have some Hellions moving in here, trying to do a bit of harassment, but they are getting scared off by the Roaches for about the 10th time in the game. Those Hellions have done absolutely nothing here. rOrO going absolutely crazy for map control here, though. He is taking so many expansions. We drop all over the place. He already has most of the map covered in creep, and he still has 93 drones to his name. He's going to be able to make tons of spine and spore crawlers all over the map if needed, and it looks like that's his plan here. He's just pretty much preventing these Hellions from doing anything.
Yeah, the